Coach, I know you've probably been asked it before, but start a new day, your emotions going into the start of the season.
Yeah, Terry, it's been a long time since we've seen Memphis Grizzlies basketball. What an exciting day for the team, for our fans, for our city. A lot of work's been put in this summertime, leading up into this preseason as well. Just been really proud of the guys' approach, the urgency, and I'm going to challenge them every single day to find a better version of ourselves. I know I've said it before, but are we going to really appreciate what it takes to do that? So finally we get to go out there, compete. Good preseason run, saw a lot of good things, a lot of different guys, different roles, different opportunities, trying some different things offensively, which has been exciting, and more will come just day after day. So finally ready to tip it off in front of this great crowd, and it's going to be an electric night.
Taylor, I think since the last time we talked to you, now we saw that Santi Aldama will be out now, so the big man is kind of out for you. You kind of hinted about the small ball lineups in the past, using those a little bit more. Do you think now with the big man rotation, that's something we can see more today? Yeah,
DeMichael, I think obviously unfortunate the other day, just kind of tweaked his ankle. Nothing serious whatsoever. Just going to be cautious early in the season. He's progressing well, but definitely going to have to lean into some small ball. Whether we start that way, we get into that through our sub pattern, how we finish. We've got a lot of options. So things that we've been trying to explore, even coming into the season. Obviously, this forces our hand a little bit, but I know our guys are fully capable of it. Our staff, we worked on being able to play this positional style on offense. And then defensively, we know what our traits are, where we've got to be good on the ball, off the ball, the discipline we've got to have. So we got a lot of guys that are going to get opportunities, early in the season for various reasons, especially tonight. But I'm excited to see, what we can unlock with different combinations early in the year.
Was Santi able to participate and shoot around, and is there a sense of how long it could be before he could be back?
Yeah, Drew, I mean, it happened the other day. Not really a fully participant today, so obviously he's out. We'll see how he progresses tomorrow. Going into the back-to-back, we're going to be smart, but it's not long whatsoever.
And then in addition, any clues you can give on the starting five tonight?
Yes, it may take you 2 hours. Where are we at? So you might get it a little after that. So I'll leave it with some breadcrumbs for you, but not right now.
Parker.
Taylor, so last season, I think you had 13 games where y'all attempted 40 or more threes. We're 9-4 in those games. 9 of those games came after the trade deadline with the roster similar to this. Without guys like Ja, Adams, or BC that put pressure on the paint, does that kind of emphasize your message to take more threes to make more threes?
Yeah, it's going to be interesting. I mean, obviously, it shouldn't just be relying on a few guys to create our advantages, get into the paint. Obviously, we always talk about our pace and our spacing early in possession, so that's on everybody to create that. We've drilled that a lot in the last couple of weeks in camp, but, our pick and roll offense was definitely very heavy, with Steve-O, and we're going to miss that. But, we got to get other bigs. X got, a lot of opportunities last year, but getting JJ more involved. Other guys involved too. So with this kind of randomness that we're playing with positionless offense, the different gears we're talking about, hopefully we can create, those touches in the paint. The player development program with a lot of our guys on, the second side actions, obviously, you can anticipate Marcus, Dez. You see what Zaire is doing with the ball in his hands, creating advantages. A lot of different guys as screener and rollers. But we still got to have driving kick on that second side, go and catch actions, but then that balance of being able to let it fly. So last couple of games, our numbers are trending up from a volume standpoint, from a percentage standpoint. Really love that. We definitely are well aware with, not having Ja right now and Steven out, for the year, we're going to have to be creative and getting more guys, whether it's handlers or second side actions or even as screeners to create those paint touches.
Taylor, it looked like last season you kind of found something when you were guarding Zion, using Dylan Brooks as his primary defender and having guys on the back end kind of rotate over and things like that. Now with Dylan gone, do you foresee Marcus Smart playing like a similar role in that way, or going more traditional with a guy like Jaren in that matchup?
Sure. I mean, I think Zion's so unique with his abilities as a ball handler, guy that's got size, physicality, unbelievable touch around the rim. So prioritizing the crowds and bodies that he sees. Last year obviously we went with more of a small, so we could have size surrounding the on-ball defender. We're going to probably have different options tonight just to see. It's early in the season. I think we get these guys at least 4 times, so we may be doing some different things. I think Marcus is definitely going to have his opportunities. JJX, for example, David Roddy. We've got a lot of different guys, and we'll see how they sub and what their lineups are. And then we just got to do what's best for our team. With our chemistry building early in the year, and that we've got a couple different guys that we can put on them, knowing that our help defense is probably even just as much of a priority.
Coach, with the Pelicans having a new look offense under James Pregame, how did your staff go about scouting that? Did you look at old Hornets tape or study Pelicans preseason in depth?
Yeah, mostly on the Pelicans. Obviously, personnel very different from JV's teams in Charlotte, so really just kind of looking into it. Obviously, you know, most of the teams in the NBA are playing full 48 minutes with their main rotations, but trying to get a really good feel. Obviously, we're very accustomed to the personnel. That really helps us a lot. But then watching their preseason games to get an idea of how they're attacking in transition, whether they're set plays, you know, how Zion's getting, you know, his primary touches and actions, creating his advantages a lot of different ways. Same thing with CJ and Ingram and Jonas too. So Hawkins kids playing extremely well, you know, so I think early in the season just trying to gauge preseason a little bit more to get our sample size.
Hey Coach, just going back to training camp and preseason, just what have you seen from the man like game in terms of just being a leader, having to take on more responsibility, obviously the first 25 games of the year, obviously, but just overall from him as a leader, as a player?
Yeah, I think Dez has been great. I think he's, you know, grown into a leadership role just organically. You know, we don't want to press anything upon him. I think he's found his groove. He's found his voice. He's one of the best workers I've ever seen. You know, how he operated this summer as he was coming back from surgery, still trying to bring the group together in a lot of different ways. Has been awesome. And then I think, you know, he set a tone early in training camp with his voice, you know, at the beginning of practices, in practice, especially at the end of practices. The biggest thing is just being consistent with his work ethic, his voice. I want it to come naturally for him. Guys are looking towards him, you know, because he sets an example with, I don't know, I'm saying it again, how he works, and he stands for all the right things, but he also wants to get challenged too. So it's not this one-way thing where whatever he says, you know, he expects everyone to do it. He wants to be pushed as well from his teammates. It's been awesome to see, you know, going into his fourth season, the growth that he's shown, and there's only going to be more to come.
Tonight, obviously being depleted in the front court, you're going against a team that's, especially in the starting lineup, pretty big. How are you going to match up with them, I guess, in a general sense? How are you going to deal with that size disadvantage that you're probably going to have for a few games here at least?
Trust the guys that we got. I mean, it's a reality that we're facing right now. Got a lot of faith in, you know, JJX. I'm going to have to be creative with some of the sub patterns there too. And, you know, obviously trying to get a feel in preseason games how New Orleans could potentially sub, or we've got, you know, games coming up here until Santi gets back. Luckily, it's nothing long term. But then, you know, being creative with some of the small ball potentially we're going to have to do. So we're gonna play small throughout the game. We'll have big lineups as well. Our coverages will dictate that, but obviously hopefully that unlocks some of our offensive stuff too. So there's a delicate balance, but we'll just figure it out game to game, minute to minute, quarter to quarter.
All right, thanks, Taylor.
Great, thanks everyone.
Thanks, Taylor.